All right, well, as I called on this channel, the Gankening is happening, and we're seeing it online. We're seeing suddenly Black Americans and Black American activist women who've been involved in establishing the Great Gankening are now seeing the trap. They're seeing the teeth of the trap. Yes, I called it. For years I've been saying this. The sanctuary city and sanctuary state laws that all these people voted for, that they would replace the Black American vote because liberals, when polled, had a weird, large, like way too large estimation of how much of the population of the United States were Black Americans. They thought Black Americans made up somewhere around 50%, 30%, some crazy amount of the population, rather than understanding Black American adults are about, I think, 7% of the population, something like that, 8% adults. So, and the kids, so it's about 13% of the population. So when it comes to now, so this voters. So the whole thing is the sanctuary city laws, many of these were a part of a package of reforms, quote unquote, just to be just and justice and yada yada. So what it is that you have a bunch of people now that they're going to get these things called work permits that you keep hearing the mayors of both Chicago and New York talking about over and over and over again. No matter what the speech is or anything, notice what's being said: work permits. Now, has anybody seen the videos of Roosevelt Boulevard in Brooklyn under the L train recently? That now it's an international red light district of mostly naked hoes from all over the world, all day and night. This is a totally residential neighborhood. People they're flabbergasted. No one will say a word. Chicago. Let's go back to good old Chicago. Even during Lori Lightfoot's administration in Chicago, Lori Lightfoot never showed up to a march that happened every year. I traced it back to that it was definitely during her tenure, that it had definitely existed the entire time she got into office and until she was out, that we march for her because of all of the disappearances of women in Chicago. It just normal black women just disappearing off the street. And that there was nobody looking into it, that it took a bunch of course, white college students, and even their calls for somebody to at least investigate this led to nothing. I've never heard Black YouTube talk about it. I've never heard this come up among women in any situation where there's like black women talking about men, the world, politics, anything. Never heard Tonya TKO talk about this. I had like nobody. Interest in that does not exist. Nobody's interested. When there's people literally able to point out, there's been actual university students looking into going, no, these are not people just running away, or no, these women are vanishing off the street. So the blue enclaves, the black vote of the blue enclaves, you're getting ganked. This is the gankening. What's going to happen is once these people can vote in local and state elections, that's it. They're going to vote for their interests. Your interests will be your interests, but they're going to vote, and they're going to want money. They're going to want dinero. They want ayuda, dinero, and más cosas, por favor. So you're going to just have to deal with now going for, you have to start confronting federal candidates for federal offices, such as representatives and senators. You have to confront them on, there's got to be mass deportations. There must be, you must say you're going to do it. And then from there, beyond that, it becomes, and then you need immigration, an immigration pause for about 5 to 10 years as we figure out who still lives here, who's alive, who died, where are people, things like that. Otherwise, you have no power. You will have no political power anymore. In any of your complaints, no one will have to care. You'll be constantly sort of like, you'll be the Palestinians. Then nobody has to care, and nobody lets them into their camp anymore, because they're like, well, we know what will happen. And so, So you could stop the Gankening, but you have one last chance. One last chance.